The Formula Regional European Championship here, certified by the FIA, returns for qualifying here at Circuit de Paul Ricard this weekend. And what a weekend it is about to be. We're racing this weekend at Paul Ricard, as I said, in France. And what a weekend we still have in store. So we now headed down to the pit lane from Paul Ricard.
Winners of the championship. This is the new era of the championship presented by the FIA. Of course, it's the new Toyota-powered Tata's 326 car. It has been a spectacular championship thus far, going back to the very first race at the Red Bull Ring. Well, the Mercedes-AMG Junior Rashid Al-Bahedi from Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. He is the championship leader, but the championship is far from decided. This is round 5 of 8 before the summer break. Then we go to Imola in Italy, and then the championship final where we decide the 8th champion of the FIA Formula Regional European Championship at Hockenheim in Germany in mid-September. Well, Rashid Al-Bahedi is the championship leader, just narrowly over Kin Nakamura. So we go back to the Red Bull Ring in Austria when the Prema Racing driver, who actually won last year's Italian and European Formula 4 championships, the Prema Racing driver, the Japanese driver, is actually very close, second in the series after taking the first victory in Austria back in mid-April. Second in the series is Ken Sebastian Weller, the American. He took 2 dominant victories at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. He's third in the championship, and don't discount Emanuele Olivieri, the young Italian rookie who is mentored by the 3-time Le Mans 24-hour winner Dindo Capello. He's 4th in the series and can still take the title. Well, it is a beautiful sunny day here at Paul Ricard in the south of France. This is the circuit which was built back in 1970. It hosted the French Formula 1 Grand Prix 16 times. The first time it was won by the great Sir Jackie Stewart, 1971, in a magnificent historic Tyrrell car. We've had many great champions of the French Formula 1 Grand Prix. We think of James Hunt, Niki Lauda, AJ Alan Jones in his championship winning year 1980, and most recently was Max Verstappen, who took victory here in 2022. Sadly, that was the last time that we've had the French Formula 1 Grand Prix run. It has been held at many circuits in France, including the likes of Reims, at Charade, at Magny-Cours, a stage of the Tour de France, which is also running concurrently at the moment. It actually got underway just a few days ago, the last few stages of the Tour de France at the former home of the French Grand Prix at Magny-Cours. Well, the cars are in pit lane, ready for qualifying. 2 groups. The cars have been divided. 15 in the first group, obviously, 15 in the second group, 10 teams, 30 drivers to decide the grid for this afternoon's race. We're back again tomorrow for qualifying 2, and then race 2 tomorrow afternoon. We're waiting for the green light. It is a beautiful sunny Saturday. The temperature, I'm not sure if we can see behind, has just clicked over 30 degrees Celsius. It is actually sweltering here on the French Riviera. We're approximately halfway between Marseille and Nice, not too far from Monaco, also near the towns of Cannes and Saint-Tropez, not too far from the Mediterranean Sea. Well, the green flag will fly in just a moment. We'll be underway 15 minutes and then a 6-minute break, and then qualifying 2 to. So half of the cars in pit lane, the engine's being fired up. We'll try and get a word with some drivers behind. We can see Yannick Shorowski, the car 8 for the RPM team. The cars to go out in pit lane, out of pit lane in just a moment. Yes, it's the 5th round of 8, the new season, the new era of the FIA Formula Regional European Championship. It was back here in mid-April 2019. The first ever Formula Regional race was won on the 13th of April by Frederick Vesti. He took the title that year. In fact, this is the 8th running. Every year, a driver from the Prema Racing team has won the title, with the exception of Gregoire Soisy in 2021, who took the title for our Grand Prix. Waiting for the green flag, which flies right lane, and we are underway with qualifying 1 of the 15 minutes here at Paul Ricard. The sun's shining. What a tremendous circuit this is here on the Riviera. 15 minutes for the first group of qualifying, and then 15 for the second. Try and catch up with some of the drivers who are taking part in Q2 without getting run over here in pit lane. Of course, waiting for the ideal time. We don't expect a quick time to come until the very end of the session. See one of the CL Motorsport cars, Jules Roussel, one of multiple French drivers here racing this weekend. Behind me, this is Salim Hanna, El Colombiano, in car 88, who had 2 podiums last time out. The South American, and this is his teammate, car 51 for the Prima Racing team. Kidnap the Monoberta, who is second in the championship. DM Gowda, this is Yannick Sharovsky. Alexander Akazava from Kazakhstan, from Georgia, I should say. Francisco Macedo from Braga in the north of Portugal for the Varna Amersfoort racing team. So the cars to go out to do effectively one sighting lap. There won't be too many. They won't do too many laps in qualifying, given that it is an almost 2-minute lap time here at Paul Ricard. So we'll try and take a walk down pit lane at risk of getting run over, but most of the cars have left pit lane. I can see Miguel Costa over here. Miguel Costa, bom dia, como está você?
Bom dia, tudo bem? Looking forward to the quali. Yesterday was quite okay, so let's see if we can just put it all together today.
Miguel, you've had a tough run in the championship thus far. Obviously, the championship is out of sight, but looking to finish strongly, take a podium, potentially even a win starting here this weekend.
Yeah, I hope so. It's been quite difficult, let's say. I think we've not shown everything we can do sometimes. I think we've had good qualifyings. Spa especially, Red Bull Ring, we qualified both in the top 8 and then just didn't manage to convert into good points. So let's see if this weekend and the following 2, if we can just maximize everything and hopefully get a podium or maybe even a win, like you said.
Muito obrigado, Miguel Costa, the American-born Brazilian. Best of luck for qualifying and the race here this weekend. We'll continue walking down pit lane. The MP Motorsport car of the American, Sebastian Weldon, who is third in the championship, the second generation racer. Not sure that Sebastian is around. He is actually. Along with Newman Cheeks and the MP Motorsport car, we go back to Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Sebastian Weldon took 2 spectacular victories at the home of the Dutch Grand Prix. Still a few minutes to go before he goes out because he is in qualifying 2. We'll try and catch up with one or both of the MP Motorsport drivers who are quite relaxed. Of course, the colours, which you know well, this is the Aston Martin Junior Newman Cheek, who is representing the Aston Martin team. Aston Martin Formula One Junior with MP Motorsport. Very relaxed. Come and join us, Newman. Good morning. How do you feel going into qualifying?
Yeah, good. I treat it like a practice. Yeah.
The circuit here, your first time racing?
I did one last year in Euro 4. So, yeah, I know the circuit. Yeah.
Newman, let's go back to Monza last year in Formula 4. You took that spectacular victory, a very intelligent drive. A win, you are a rookie, but a win in the Formula Regional Championship. It's not impossible for you this weekend.
Yeah, I think the pace overall seemed very good in the team. And, yeah, also yesterday. So, I'm quite confident that we can do a good result here.
Thank you, Newman. And with that, qualifying is underway. Sebastian Weldon in the background. We'll try and catch up with him in, just quickly if we can. Sebastian, just a quick word. How do you feel going into qualifying round 5 of the championship here at Paul Ricard?
Last week in Hungary was definitely not ideal, so we need to really figure out something here. And yesterday was good in free practice, but yeah, it was just free practice, so we need to do our best in qualifying.
Thank you, Sebastian. Best of luck this weekend. Well, the cars are out on the circuit. Qualifying is underway here at Paul Ricard. George, to you in commentary, how are the early times looking?
Well, Ian, wonderful job.
Absolutely amazing job there from Ian Silvestri. Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Formula Regional European Championship here after not actually streaming last round. So I don't know the results of last round, but we head into this round streaming the next round of the Formula Regional European Championship throughout the week, due to being quite a tight and confined schedule. Coming into this weekend, we have GT World Challenge Australia returning after their break in their season as the cars make their way out onto circuit. We've also got Formula One on this weekend at the Hungaroring. Apologies, of course, for not streaming Formula One this weekend. I will have a video on my thoughts of the Formula One Grand Prix at the Belgium circuit. I will have a video coming out on that in a couple of days or so. I'm hoping it should be out today or tomorrow. Either day it should be out, but yeah, it should be exciting indeed. But brand new setup, hopefully, coming in the next couple of days, so we should be able to get some pretty good content out, and I will be starting to try and get live timings up whenever possible onto the screens there. So yeah, it should be fun. But yeah, the Formula Regional European Championship have now hit the circuit. The last 4 or 5 rounds have been somewhat interesting. Round 1, of course, topped by King Nakamura Berta, followed by, then, of course, Rashid Al-Tahiri and Reno Franco, first, second. And in race 1 there, King Nakamura Berta followed by Rashid Al-Tahiri in race 2 and Reno Franco in race 3. And, of course, we do have Sebastian Weldon. Think back to Zandvoort, where he got himself a double win. Round 3, Spa Munoz took race 1. And, of course, race number 2 going the way of K&B, King Nakamura Berta, who's been very dominant as of lately. King Nakamura Berta then went on to win race 1. Rashid Al-Tahiri at Monza. And then King Nakamura Berta in race 3 at Spa on that weekend. So, the cars make their way out onto circuit. See a bit of a traffic jam actually starting to pile up as drivers try to more or less find a bit of space. And this is something we normally see in the Formula Regional European Championship. You normally do see the cars quite well spread out throughout this session. But this session definitely look to struggle to try and find any sort of space. Is there, look, Yuki Sano trying to dive up the inside of one of the G4 racing cars as he tries to set a reasonable lap time. Currently sitting second in the standings at the moment. Not in the Drivers' Championship, but at the moment overall in this qualifying session. But I don't think drivers have set a lap time yet. We do have Yuki Sano out on circuit. Andrei Kostic, Dion Gada, Emmanuel Olivieri, followed by then Kabir Anamag, Jan Prevazowski, and it's King Nakamura Berta Munoz out on circuit. Matteo Gicardi as well out there on the circuit. Francisco Medico as well. And then it's Salim Hanna, Giovanni Maschio, Saita, and Alexander Abkazava as well out on the circuit. So drivers now banking in their first lap times for what will be quite an exciting session, if I'm being completely honest with you, here. And, of course, early morning qualifying around 9 o'clock. It is in Paul Ricard for the moment. So, almost ideal conditions. The track not too hot. Yes, of course. Approaching nearly 40 degrees at 9 o'clock in the morning is the track temperature. So, already quite hot out there on the circuit. But, of course, drivers will be hoping to set down a pretty good banker time indeed. 6 minutes, 15 seconds to go Jules Russell now. Under braking down the Mulsanne Straight. Of course, that is Le Mans. Apologies. But yeah, down the famous Paul Ricard Straight and using the chicane this weekend. I think only the GT Racing uses the full Mulsanne Straight here at Paul Ricard. Uses the full length of this straight. Paul Ricard, all single-seater action, all that sort of stuff, uses the chicane, which is used quite often here at Paul Ricard. So a lot of rubber down, and it's quite grippy, that chicane. So you will see the cars really pushing once you get to, especially race 2, when the track has got a bit more rubber down on it. From, of course, the International GT Open that is here this weekend, and GT Cup Europe. We've also got Euro Formula Open here this weekend, along with the E4 Championship. So quite a lot of single-seater racing, and of course a lot of GT3 action as well here this weekend. So a lot of action and a lot of Pirelli rubber going down onto the tarmac, and the tarmac, of course, getting hotter, meaning that rubber will, of course, get hotter as well. The track might get a bit more greasier as the day goes on. Jules Russell setting in that first banker lap time, 1:59.518. King Nakamura Berta goes second. Jen Perezowski goes fourth. K&B goes first on a 1:58.809. So once more, bringing down that banker time here with just under 4.5 minutes to go. A bit of a sideways moment there for K&B on the exit of turn number 2 as now he clouts the curb on the inside, clouts the curb on the outside as he tries to find the maximum amount of grip in the circuit at the moment. First cars out on circuit at the time of this being streamed, so the track will not be in the best condition here with not much rubber down this morning. But of course, we will be expecting that Group B will be the quickest of the session. being the track has more rubber down on it from this session. That is when we are expecting the track to be at its best. The Williams Academy driver here of K&B, King Nakamura, and surely after this season that he's had so far, that you would think that F3, F2, maybe even some F1 teams keeping an eye on the junior driver, the Williams junior driver there of K&B. It's 2 tenths up now here. Look, the Japanese-American driver of K&B was born in Japan, moved to America, and now technically classified as Japanese/American there. So K&B continuing to put down some pretty quick lap times. Fastest through the first and second sector for the moment, about 3 tenths up on Alexander Abkazava at the moment, who's gone to the top of the session of 158.646 over Andrej Kostic. K&B, of course, in third, but Salim Hanna looking to possibly beat that, along with Jan Perezowski, who's up through the first and second sector. Salim Hanna, of course, up through the first and second sector as well. Jan Perezowski will go to the top of the session. Here, K&B stays at the top, 158.0. Salim Hanna goes third, about half a second off the pace of the circuit at the moment, 158.4 from Jan Perezowski. For the moment, Alexander Abkazava at the moment, of course, improving through the first and second sector. About overall a tenth up on the overall times here at the moment. Emmanuel Olivieri as well, fastest at the moment. Sitting second, about 2 tenths off the pace of the Japanese-American driver, King Nakamura. Here, of course, this weekend, the E4 Championship here. I will be streaming that directly after the Formula Regional European Championship qualifying session has, of course, been complete. K&B now fastest at the moment, 158.078. The time to knock off. Can anybody do it with just under 2 minutes to go? You see cars, they're trying to make room out there on the circuit. Yes, this circuit's 4.313 kilometers long, but when you have 15 cars out on the circuit, it does seem to get a bit of a traffic jam appearing here. So definitely a traffic jam starting to become a bit of a problem for some of these drivers here at Circuit de Paul Ricard. Cars and all drivers trying to find room out there on the circuit as we take a look at the guy sitting second in the championship. King Nakamura hoping for a good round coming in to this round. And we'll be wanting to, of course, score more points in the championship. And as I said at the start of the session, of course, quite a big weekend, a big week of streaming. We've got the E4 Championship, the Formula Regional European Championship as well. Monday through to Friday. Sorry, Tuesday, must I say, through to Friday. And then, of course, this weekend, the Formula 1 Grand Prix, GT World Challenge Australia as well. I'm actually unsure as to if Porsche Michelin Sprint Challenge will be at the Darwin circuit. So I will, of course, confirm that with everybody once I do get that information. As drivers now start their final flying lap, this will be for K&B, hoping to score, of course, an extra 2 points in the championship. In his championship hunt here is King Nakamura. Now once more deep under braking goes the former champion of the Italian F4 and E4 Championship, is deep under braking there and through towards turn number 6. Just locking up the right front tyre just slightly. As once more he turns through. He's hoping to be quite a weekend for K&B as he rides the curbs there on the inside. 0.1 up through the first sector. We will continue, to, of course, to see the drivers improve as this session goes on. Checkered flag has dropped out the front straight. So we'll see, of course, the drivers finish their lap times as now through they turn. Through the chicane, a bit deep and missed the apex there, K&B. And he had to flick the car in and just barely got the car turned in here. So the track quite low on grip. You can see the car sliding into the chicane as it tried to grip itself up almost. 2 tenths up now. Emmanuel Olivieri, his teammate just in behind, getting a good old tow from the Japanese-American driver. Alexander Abkazava, of course, getting a tow as well. Now through they turn. This an important lap for the champion. Has not scored a pole position since round 1. Hoping to do so. I think he did score a pole position at Zandvoort, so he's only had about 2 or 3 pole positions so far this season. Can he make that 4? Is now through towards the final corner on the circuit. Key Nakamura exiting the final corner and up through towards the line. What is this lap going to be for K&B? Key Nakamura? It is an improvement of 157.824. He clocks on. Emmanuel Olivieri is currently improving as well. Is this anywhere close to go to the top of the pile? Making his run up through towards the line. Emmanuel Olivieri goes second and about 800s off the pace. What does Alexander Abkazava do as he makes his run up through towards the line around the final corner? Goes the Kazakhstanian driver through towards the line. What is this lap going to be for Alexander Abkazava? It is second at 157.829. Just 600s off the pace of pole position. 5 milliseconds make it for Alexander Abkazava. K&B, Key Nakamura 157.757. For Key Nakamura, only a few drivers clocking in their final lap times in that session. But now the time to beat 157.857 for the Japanese-American driver. Beautifully done.
Formula One, obviously coming through the pyramid system. They'll have their eyes firmly set on FIA-F3 with perhaps later FIA-F2 as well. Before then, launching potentially into the Formula One world where we've seen the likes of Gabriele Bortoleto and now, of course, championship leader Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who won the FIA Formula Regional European Championship title back in 2023 in what was a truly momentous year that saw him take 3 pole positions and 5 wins. But this time, pole position goes to the new Prema driver, Key Nakamura, top of the tree, ahead of Alexander Abkazava with Emanuele Olivieri in 3rd. Marcus Sater, what a performance, down in 4th as well. Salim Hanna in 5th. Kabir Anorak down in 6th, the Alpine Junior. Matteo Giacardi in 7th, ahead of Alexandre Munoz. And Jan Sharovsky, Yuki Sano rounds out the top 10. We've got Dion Gauda, Andrea Kostic, Francisco Macedo, Jules Roussel, and Giovanni Maschio, last of the runners there. Fastest lap though, Keen Nakamura an immense lap of a 157.824. He could be walking away with yet another pole position, which would be his 5th. But what a visit already here at Paul Ricard. The sun's still beaming down with the fantastic French landscape we have here at Le Castellet. It is mesmerising to see, and obviously we will be hopefully getting some mood on the ground from Ian Silvestri. And in fact, we can head down to now our man on the ground. Ian, what's new?
Sensational riding qualifying Key Nakamura. What about Alexander Abkazava, who took 2nd on the grid? And Marcus Sater, the G4 Racing team, the Swiss-Spanish team behind me. But we're in the middle of the Rodent Motorsport car. This is Alex Nedovic, the driver from Sydney, Australia, who last year won the British GB3, effectively the British Formula 3 Championship as the car come back into Parc Fermé. Emanuele Olivieri just going through behind me, qualifies P3. He is leading the Rookie Championship. I can tell you the sun is shining here. It is warming up. It is 32 degrees Celsius and we're ready to go for qualifying 2 in just a moment. Here, Nakamura P1, 2nd in the championship for 157. That was a stunning time. The quickest lap we've seen all weekend and the quickest Formula Regional time ever, if I'm not mistaken. Matteo Giacardi, home race for the Monaco driver, as it is for Alexander Munoz. There's Abkazava, who goes P2 right at the death. Quickly walk through pit lane, the Rodent Motorsport cars. This is Nedovic in car 2. Rahim Alibi, G4 Racing. His teammate, Marcus Sater, has just put the G4 Racing car 3rd on the grid. We look at this. The flags of the United States of America and Cuba. It is not a combination you see very often. A driver from Miami, Florida, 2 drivers from Florida, from the land of the free and the, well, not so free. Very good morning to our viewers watching on live and happy 250th birthday to the drivers, or the people, our viewers watching in the United States of America. Sake Al-Mosheji, also for G4 Racing from Kuwait. So Key Nakamura 2nd in the championship. That's an excellent qualifying time. That will surely put him on the front row of the grid, if not pole position later this afternoon. Just a quick word with Yuri Massa of Pirelli. He was telling us this is the DM compound. Quickly, the Pirelli tyre, the DM compound tyre, the drivers. Moreover, the teams trying to come in at the end of qualifying with a tyre pressure hot of around about 1.3 bar, 1.4 bar, that is 18 to 19 psi in the old money. The DM compound at Pirelli tyre, of course, the track temperature as the road and cars almost run into each other. Alex just ahead of Areza Suareva, no problem for the Road Duo. Yes, the track temperature yesterday, 49 degrees Celsius, not quite as hot as Monza, although we may get there this afternoon. At Monza, you could literally, I hate to use that word, literally fry an egg on the surface. The track temperature was 63 degrees Celsius, ambient temperature of 39 degrees Celsius at Monza for round 4 of the championship. Not quite that weather here this weekend, because we're not too far from Cannes and the Mediterranean Sea. We are 500 metres above sea level, but it is scorching hot here. I can see 32 degrees Celsius just after 9 o'clock this morning. Qualifying 2 is underway for round 5, the Formula Regional European Championship. The championship leader, Rashid Albaheri, is in this group, as is Sebastian Weldon. Second in the championship, Key Nakamura, he's just gone out and qualified P1 in his group, and Olivieri, who is 4th overall, and the first rookie, has just put his RSGP car at least on the 2nd row of the grid with P4 qualifying in Group 1. So 15 minutes of qualifying. Key Nakamura, the Japanese Slovakian London-born driver in car 51 for the Prema Racing team. That is them behind me. They've had all their cars complete qualifying 1, so they've gone back into Parc Fermé. The cars coming across the line now to complete their first lap. George, how are we looking at the time to beat Key Nakamura? That's a stunning effort. That will take some beating, although the track temperature warming up, massive grip here at Paul Ricard. Luc Castellet here this morning.
Thank you very much, Ian. Yes, it's going to be a very tricky one to beat, I think. A 157.824, totally dwarfing anything we have already seen so far this weekend. And in fact, if you want to compare the lap time that we saw from Key Nakamura to anything we saw in free practice, between that and Seb Weldon, we're talking a massive, very nearly 0.7 of a second. That is truly astonishing. So full credit to Key Nakamura, the Williams Jr., of course, who came through after winning some sensational F4 titles. Obviously, the Italian F4 Championship being one of the most pivotal ones in terms of persevering through the Formula 4 system and the motorsport system as a whole. Obviously, for young drivers looking to make their way through, you think of the likes of Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who went on to win numerous F4 standard championships before then heading into Formula Regional European Championship territory 3 years ago. But it just goes to show we have got some fast and furious characters now making their way through the realms of the sport at the moment. Little rundown as to how we're faring for Group B. We're going to be seeing Maximilian Popov, a former race winner as well this season, with Kai Daryanani, also for Trident. Rahim Alabai looking to continue G4 Racing strong run alongside Sakir Almasergi, who'll be looking to do the same too. Rino Francot, who is chasing a renewal, almost a redemption arc, really, after his phenomenal win for CL Motorsport, the first in their history, back at Red Bull Ring in race 3. Since then, he's had a little bit of bad luck, and some issues go his way through the course of some of the races. Monza, of course, was quite a spectacular affair, but also quite a busy one, let's just say. And Rino Francot was caught right in the eye of the storm of that, but he will be back fighting, make no mistake. He was showing some strong pace in free practice, so you never know, he could be in with an opportunity to restore himself back into front-end contention. We've got Zen Ricci, the Aston Martin Junior, and we've got Noah Lyle, of course, returning for his second weekend in the FIA Formula Regional European Championship. Rashid Al-Dahiri, championship leader, also features in this group as well. And driving for RHGP, make the sensational switch from Prema at the end of last season, deciding that RHGP was the home for him. And Thibaut de Merendal, I have no doubt, delighted with the way his driver is performing right now. Top of the championship, 3 wins in total, 2 of them sprints. His last race win being his first main race victory. And looking to make it 2 main races this season, should he come out on top off the back of qualifying 1. Sebastian Weldon, who hasn't necessarily won since Zandvoort, but still showing an awful lot of promise, had a bit of misfortune back at Budapest after getting pitched round coming out of turn 3. or in towards turn 3, I should say, and unfortunately it cost him dearly, and of course later came to a shuddering halt in the latter point of the weekend as well, heading through race 2. Gabriel Gomez, another one to watch, Thomas Stolchamanis, Miguel Costa, Alex Ninovic, Reza Seaworthen, Andrea Dupé in his home round as well. Reno Frankot though, going quickest with the first fastest time in the group, still a long way to go though, 2:04.905, that is the fastest time in this group so far, and he's ahead of Zenri Chi, the Aston Martin Junior. Noah Lyle, who steps into European competition as of last round after pretty much doing all of his racing in the UK, now setting his sights on European action, just giving himself the best footing possible for potential moves up to FIA Formula 3 and FIA Formula 2. But an exciting young talent, and great to have Noah Lyle here with us, the young man from Australia. Competed in British F4 back in 2022 and 2023. But looking for a big weekend here is the young man from Perth. Kai Darianani now quickest. It's Trident with a double act up at the top, at the front end, as we now take a look at the Trident team on screen. Of course, it was Matteo De Paolo who delivered many of their firsts really in this championship in terms of their first race win in that titanic battle with Freddie Slater, which saw them fight for the championship right to the bitter end. It was all decided back at Hockenheimring. They were very unlucky not to win that title. Could have gone either way. But Freddie Slater doing the damage when it was necessary. But Maximilian Popov, they got a talented young man who, without any doubt, will be featuring at the front more so. There's a young 17-year-old who has made his way through the realms of UAE F4, before later coming through Italian F4 in the Formula Regional Middle Eastern Championship earlier this year. And as I said, Victor back at Spa-Francorchamps. And Kai Darianani, who currently holds the provisional fastest time. Has had some success over in the United Arab Emirates back in 2024, becoming a champion over there. Also competed in the Middle Eastern Championship in Formula Regional cars earlier this year. Spent some time in GB3 in 2025. But now looking to flourish here for the Italian outfit Trident, as they now look to get ready for the official fast laps. Reno Frankot has gone purple inside the first sector. We're going to start seeing the faster times now rumble on in, folks. Currently at the moment in this group, Kai Darianani, the only driver under 2 minutes at the moment, with a 1:59.410. No doubt the time and the delta is going to drop quite significantly. I can only imagine that. Frankot, purple in the middle as well. Sebastian Weldon has ripped away the fastest first sector split with a 32.274. And elsewhere, Rahim Alabai popping himself into second, now joining the 159 club with a 49.710. 200ths between the top two in your timing screen at the moment, but all eyes are on Reno Frankot, who is currently purple inside the middle sector. Sebastian Weldon, another one to watch. We're currently looking at the championship leader, Rashid Al-Dahiri, who secured a 36.3 in the middle sector after a 32.3. Sakir Ramasurgi now goes fastest, 1:59.355. Ahead of Kai Darianani, Zenri Chi now goes fastest. Reno Frankot returns to the top with a 1:57.960. First 1:57 of the session so far. We await the others. Rashid Al-Dahiri goes 7th quickest. Sebastian Weldon still improving. There's Gabriel Gomez up into second. Thomas Stolchamanis into third for Prema. Gomez highest of the rookies in this Group B session. Sebastian Weldon now returns to the top also for MP Motorsport. Fresh reminders, no less, of their incredible success back at Zandvoort, their home weekend, where they managed to take their first home victory in this championship. through Sebastian Weldon. We can head down to the pit lane with Ian Silvestri. Ian, who have you got?
I was going to ask, are you confident you can hold on how was qualifying, but it looks as though you're in danger of losing that position.
Yeah, I mean, quality was decent for us, P1 in our group. First on track, always quite difficult to hold on, so yeah, we'll see, but I'm quite confident Group 2 will beat us. But anyway, front row start will be really good anyways, you know, get back to the front and see what we can do from there.
We'll let you get back to the end of qualifying. We'll see you on the front row of the grid at least this afternoon for race 1. Thank you, Keane.
Thank you.
George?
Thank you very much, Ian. And Key Nakamura, Berto, fastest man in Group A. It does look like his position as provisional fastest over the session is going to come under threat. Alex Dinovich also starting to dig a little deeper after going purple inside the first sector. He's green in the middle as well. So 157.957, the fastest time in this group. Sebastian Weldon may be able to shrink that even more, but Ninovic could beat into the punch here to do it. Ninovic's last time, incidentally, a 158.643. Zenrichi has gone fourth fastest, just behind Gabriel Gomez as he crosses the line, the Aston Martin Jr. We all wait as Rashid Al-Lahiri now goes quickest, and Gabriel Gomez now lights at the timing screen to go fastest himself. We now await MP Motorsports.
Oh, 200.
Sebastian Weldon, Ninovic second fastest, just behind teammates.
200.
Gabriel Gomez, Sebastian Weldon
he's
about to
beaten
cross
it.
the line, returns to the top there. To Sebastian Weldon, 66 thousandths between he and Gomez, 87 thousandths between the top three as a whole. Once again, a very close affair.
5 milliseconds.
157.824 is the time to beat. We are just behind that by a mere 8 thousandths of a second. Another 8 thousandths and we could yet see our pole sitter for race 1 here in this very group, which we would expect to see based on track generation. It is very warm as it is at the moment out on circuit, but nevertheless, the driver's being tasked to manage the uses of the Pirelli tyres. But at the moment, it is Sebastian Weldon, the fastest man. 157.832. We then got 157.898 for Gabriel Gomez. Alex Dinovich in third place. Actually, top three in this group so far. Rashid Al-Lahiri needs to try and thunder in a faster time himself if he wants to taste top spot glory. Of course, like I said at the top of the show, Key Nakamura Berta, the only driver to take multiple poles this season. He took 4 coming here to Paul Ricard already. It's been a strong season for Key Nakamura Berta. Has had his fair share of misfortune as well, though. And you know, we've honestly proven time and time again how important these qualifying sessions are to this championship and indeed to championship fights. Not just because you get 2 points for pole, but also on top of that, it's all about track position. If you can obviously land yourself to the front end of the grid, it does make the work a little bit less difficult. But all the same, these are the future of the motorsport world. There's no Sebastian Weldon, P1 sitter at the moment, will now look to set out his final lap here in qualifying 1. 30 seconds left to go in the session. This will certainly be the final runs that we will see, and already the green sectors are coming to light with Sakir Al-Masurji with a 32.4. Purple first sector as well for Rashid Al-Lahiri. The championship leader is now arriving on the scene. A 3-time race winner, 2 of them sprints. He is the sprint king, the only driver to win a sprint race this season as well. Of course, we do have another sprint weekend coming up at Imola as well, folks. That's going to be on the weekend of the 4th to the 6th of September. Rashid Al-Lahiri faster by 59 thousandths as it stands. The checkered flag now has officially come out. Sebastian Weldon stealing away the purple first sector at 32.147 here for young Braveheart. Here this time.
Al-Lahiri's out.
Looking to try and chase that first place in our Paul Ricard classification. Gabriel Gomez in the middle sector, now on top in terms of the fastest split time. That is a 36.258 for Gabriel Gomez, who's arriving on the scene. Could yet be yet another different pole sitter here this season. We've seen Kian Nakamura Berta do it 4 times, Rashid Al-Lahiri do it once, Sebastian Weldon once, Emanuele Olivieri, Yuki Sano, Maximilian Popov, Alexander Munoz. They've all taken pole once before at the very least. Here comes Rashid Al-Lahiri, second fastest. He won't take pole this time, but Sebastian Weldon looking to drill this one down. He's purple in the
Gomez
first sector.
third, stays third.
Gomez across the line will remain third. No one can contest against Weldon's quickest time so far. Weldon may yet though go even faster. Can he do it?
Can he?
That was a 208.367.
No.
Obviously, we're going to try and rein it in. And Sebastian Weldon, a 157.832. His last lap was a 157.870. Did not improve on that run.
5 milliseconds off pole position for Sebastian Weldon. What a lap from KNB, Key Nakamura Berta. And out of all the odds as well, out of all the odds with track evolution, more rubber going down, KNB gets pole position by 5 milliseconds. It'll be KNB over Sebastian Weldon, the front two in the championship. Then it's Rashid Al-Lahiri, Gabriel Gomez, Alex Nevich, Reno Franco, Thomas Doltramana, Zenru Chi, Reza Zawerda, Miguel Acosta, Andrea Dupe, Saka Al-Masergi, Maximilian Popov, Kai Darianani, Noah Lyle, who is a rookie coming into this round, and Rahim Al-Bai as well. So, of course, Noah Lyle racing double head-up this weekend, FREC and the E4 Championship. So, of course, that is still to come. But, of course, going pole is KNB, Key Nakamura Berta. He gets pole position for race number 1. Qualifying 2 will, of course, be a bit later on in the weekend. Race 1, of course, tomorrow, though, from 3:30. Up next, though, it's E4. For their first race of the weekend. Qualifying 2 will be tomorrow from 4:45. Race 2 will be from 7:30. It should be good and it should be exciting. Hope you can join us then. Until then, it's bye-bye.
Of the season. Truly remarkable scenes.